Sorry I'm late.
Did you forget to set your alarm clock?
Hello everyone and welcome back to My Nerdy Home. My name is Stephanie. Thank you so much for watching this video. So, the Batman. We've all seen the trailer. We are talking about it. Everyone is talking about it. Everyone is talking about Robert Pattinson and the Batsuit. And no one is talking about the Batmobile. No one is talking about the Batmobile. The mechanical design, the function as compared to previous Batmobiles. No one's really talking about it. So I kind of want to talk about it in this video. Now, I'm not a gearhead. I'm not going to claim to be a gearhead. So if you like what I'm about to tell you in this video, thank you. I really appreciate it. So a friend of mine and I were talking about the new Batman movie, and he started talking about the new Batmobile. And I actually showed him photos of the new Batmobile, and we looked at the trailer, and he was actually kind of curious about the lack of a jet engine in this new Batmobile. And this kind of got us talking a little bit about the new Batmobile, and it inspired this video. So the reason his comment about the jet engine actually got us talking was because I was under the impression that this car did have a jet engine. But examining closer, we've actually discovered that that's not the case. And I'm gonna explain why. Initially, looking at the engine itself, you can tell very clearly that there are cylinder heads, which is something that a jet engine just does not have. This Batmobile looks to be inspired by muscle car drag racing. And the engine is actually a mid-engine, probably a V8 or better, and we're actually guessing that it might be a V10 engine, which is probably something that we can expect a year 2 Batman to come up with. It's something that he would design. He has likely repurposed an old muscle car, maybe something that holds some sentimental value to him, or he could possibly be into drag racing himself. So why don't we think that this is a jet engine? It clearly has blue flames shooting out the back. So because of the way that jet engines work to achieve thrust, they would have no need for cylinder heads, pistons, and a crank like a regular car. And that alone leads us to believe that the blue fire that's coming out the back of the vehicle is strictly for show and is just not functional. We also noticed that there seems to be a twin turbo setup, and that is just not required if this was a true jet engine. So now this kind of had us wondering, like, why did he include it? Why would he include the aesthetic of a jet afterburner without the function? So I was actually thinking that this could be like an intimidation factor, possibly to strike fear in his enemies, but this could also be achieved by adding armor or plating of some kind to make the vehicle itself stronger without causing too much damage. And also I have to kind of keep in mind that this Batman is still young. He probably did just put this on there for show. He is still learning. He is still making adjustments. And this is probably why those blue flames are there, just for purely aesthetic reasons. We kind of see this again when we were looking at the front of the vehicle. So when the trailer pans to the front of the vehicle and we hear the car rev up, we kind of see some flames shoot out the top of the hood. Now this would actually imply that there's a second engine in the front of the vehicle, but that actually doesn't seem very likely due to the advantages of having a mid-engine vehicle. Having a mid-engine vehicle means that the weight of the car is actually centered over the rear tires, allowing for better traction and handling. This would kind of be thrown off if there was a second engine at the front of the car. So that kind of leads us to believe that those flames that we're seeing when the engine revs up is purely for show as well. All right, so we've talked a little bit about the engine. I kind of want to talk about the actual overall look of the car and things that were done to it that add to the overall functionality of the vehicle. So I did say very quickly at the beginning of this video that this car looks to be inspired by the muscle car era, and it does follow the muscle car drag racing concepts. When we first got our first photos of the Batmobile, a lot of people did not like the open back, that it's too open. Why is it open in the back of the car? Well, when looking at the car, considering it's a mid-engine vehicle, it needs to be reinforced with a roll cage. And that's what this is. This car is reinforced with a roll cage that extends through the engine compartment at the back of the vehicle. And now the purpose of this roll cage is not just for it to look really cool. I mean, it does look really cool, but that's not its purpose. There's actually function to this roll cage. It allows for strength and stability for what I can only assume is going to be an extremely powerful engine that's going to be producing a large amount of torque. So what this essentially means is that if you have a vehicle with a lot of power and a lot of traction, but no reinforcement, the chassis of the car can actually twist, bend, and even break, and this can actually lead to a very serious accident. Having a roll cage installed and in place serves to ensure that the body of the vehicle remains straight and true when the Batman is opening her up, while also protecting himself in the event of a crash or a rollover. Something else that makes the car lighter and we had to really look closely at the photos here is that there appears to be no passenger seat. So we can kind of safely assume that this car has been completely gutted. Now this is done to reduce the weight of the vehicle and to make the vehicle even faster. And again, this is a characteristic of the muscle car racing identity. And the designer of this Batmobile probably took inspiration from that era. And I'm kind of interested to see if Bruce Wayne himself is into drag racing. The movie is only 25% filmed, so we really don't know. So overall, I actually really like this Batmobile. I think it's a very well thought out and practical design for a real world application of a Batmobile designed by a young Bruce Wayne. Something that we can expect from a year 2 Batman. So now I'm curious to know your thoughts and your interpretation in those comments below. So I really hope you guys enjoyed watching. Please come and say hi on Instagram and Twitter. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and feel free to share it around if you like. Also, I hope you'll consider subscribing and let me know in those comments down below what kind of videos you'd like to see in the future. Okay, I'll see you guys next time.